Good morning, evening, afternoon. I'm tatocat. Welcome to my channel. Today we're playing Echoes Lucid9 Fangame. Previously, after getting all the stuff for our party, we had to listen to this news broadcast thingy, which after editing a bit from the previous episode, I noticed that it says failure to watch would lead to death, basically, which was fun. Well, this newscaster is basically trying to talk about the Samu Liberation Front and how anyone who helps them will die. And now Black Star is incompetent and all that. And now we're somehow involved in this, and we'll see how this goes. So let's continue. Until a victor emerges and a corpse remains. It is the sheer combat capability of one of these operatives. The corpse now on screen was confirmed by both DCIS and Black Star intelligence to be that of former General Hiroyoshida, one of Black Star's most distinguished officers, turned traitor by a difference in sentiment, and a traitor turned corpse by the weapon of the unknown warrior. Until we know who or what this warrior is, or even if Way Forward has more like them under their command, their board of directors has granted us a single name by which to refer to them. Tenured Operative Lucid9 of the Special Services Division. What the existence of Lucid9 will mean to Way Forward or to the rest of Isamu remains to be seen. But the National News Network is committed to seeing what most cannot. On that note, this concludes today's Civil Security Briefing. 10,000 battles, 10,000 victories. Glory to Isamu. This war is our what was it? War is our tradition, victory is our birthright. It's a bit creepy sounding. Well then. So much for keeping a low profile. Returning to the underground transit station with 50 plus kilograms of empty calories hanging from my arms proves to be an interesting experience. Going through the scanner sideways was a bit of an inconvenience, but at least I got to trick the state-of-the-art predictive AI into thinking a third of my skeleton was made of high-density polyurethane. Poly what? Silanine. Polyurethane was just the word that came out of my mouth. If the commander wants to throw a party, though, this should be more than enough to satisfy anyone who gets the munchies. As for me, though, I'm not in a celebratory mood. I don't even want to crack a smile or let out a semi-sarcastic woohoo. Oh, it's old Rui. I just did what I was supposed to do. Not just that. I did what I was designed to do. I've been configured from the start to do whatever this corporation asks. So has every other operative in the SSD. Why throw a party for me? The parts of my body and brain that made today's mission a success were carefully integrated into my internal organs by too many surgeons and scientists to name. Am I expected to lie and take credit for their accomplishment just because they went too deep into my mind for anyone to tell what was there before, or what would have been there if Kosuke had never weaponized me? Trying to tell where I end and where the machine begins is like opening Pandora's box and finding Schrodinger's cat in it. Any answer I get, or anyone else gets for that matter, has 100% chance of being simultaneously right, wrong, and fucking pointless. I could have told anyone I saw that I wasn't really here and that this wasn't really happening, and the only evidence they could use against that would be the sum of their own experiences and beliefs. Because of this, they couldn't prove me wrong or right. They couldn't even find proof of me to begin with. Though, in my case, few experiences and beliefs have even been my own. Maybe they just want something to serve as their excuse to be happy and I happen to be that something. I don't think they made the best choice, but I suppose I can at least try to make a worthwhile excuse out of myself. Hell, if I start acting like a sunshine suppository, I might even end up helping out Yama. After changing out of my armor, I decide to load the groceries into a spare gear case instead of T-posing my way through the entire building. Sure is dark. I'd honestly be scared half shitless if I didn't know the commander was planning something. Maybe that's why you were told. Looking down, I see the dash cycling glow of the floor guidance lights. Like, I would not do well in the surprise party. It's like something would be thrown at someone. Whatever that is, whatever's nearest to me, it just would not go well. While these are only supposed to be used in emergencies, they're pointing me towards the mess hall rather than a useful exit muster point. Maybe that's where she's going to surprise me. Or not. I've got to admit though, the ongoing lack of surprises implies that this whole thing might actually end up being one. Instead of trying to get a hold of the commander on the cell's intercom like a responsible person would, I decided to continue down the path of rolling lights. It terminates at a rather innocuous looking table. That is, until I see the note taped to it. Thanks for handling the snack logistics for me, operative. Before we start the fun, though, you mind doing me a solid and dropping by your quarters? I left you a present that I think you might like. Sincerely, Lucid9. P.S. If you get anything on the sheets while you're enjoying yourself, there's spares under the sink? What in the fresh hell is this? That is a very good question. Did she put Yama in her room? Is she gonna think something's gonna happen? At this point, I'm less interested in a gift and more interested in a fucking explanation for this circle jerk of a stunt. After furiously stomping towards the upper landing, I decided to take a few deep breaths before I continue to my quarters. Whatever's there isn't worth getting this angry about. After all, compared to all the pain the city contains, a little embarrassment on my end is practically meaningless. I lower my wrist to the chip scanner and prepare to open the door in front of me. Commander? If you're here, now might be a good time to say hi. Really? Question mark, question mark, question mark. It's here again. As I step through the doorway, I catch a fleeting glimpse of some scruffy black hair in the bottom half of my peripheral vision. The door shuts behind me as I look down to see two mechanical arms half unpacked. Oh, and a half unpacked suitcase. Oh, see? I knew it. Oh, Commander, you have a dirty mind, you. What are you doing here? And one whole idiot. I have a mind to ask you the same question. You have half a mind? Still half a mind than you. What's going on here? You trying to set up camp or something? You say that like I'm not supposed to be here. You aren't. This is my room. Wait. Your room? This cell commander told me your quarters were next door. Was that the door? After hearing a sudden click, I turn around and jiggle the handle behind me. So the surprise party involves us getting locked in our own room with Yama. It doesn't budge. Of course, it's probably locked automatically after I closed it. Maybe I just need to scan my subdermal chip again. Door controls overridden? This has to be a joke. Who even has the authority to lock down an entire room? That note I found in the mess hall. The postscript. Maybe this has something to do with whatever the commander's gift was supposed to be. But where is it? Oh, Rui, come on. You know, you had to get this, right? The, don't get the sheets messy. Or if you get the sheets messy, right? You know what she's implying, right? Like the gift with, yeah, right? You know? Think, Rui. I don't even know what this thing is. Why would she even feel the need to lock my door and tell me where the spare sheets were in the first place? Hey. Yama looks up at me. You doing okay over there? I look back at him. Oh no. No. This is a bad idea. This is not okay. This is not kosher by any stretch of the imagination. I have to stop this. Hey, operative. Having fun yet? What kind of fun were you hoping I'd have, ma'am? Come on, operative. Don't tell me you're too dense to see the obvious. Really is become Emmy's little sister, hasn't she? Like, Emmy's telling us how to get alcohol. Now she's like trying to set us up with some dude. Think about it. After 3 years of longing and hardships, you finally reunited with your conventionally attractive childhood friend who just so happens to be of the opposite sex. Now that you two have conveniently been placed behind closed doors, it's only a matter of time before you two decide to, you know, relieve some stress together. A long, sharp breath inwards with the expectation that what I'm about to say will require putting all of it to use. The real question is, now that we've been locked in our room, does that mean we don't get to eat the snacks? Because I would be mad about that. I would not want to have to go to the grocery store, buy all those snacks, and not be able to eat any of them. I'm a snack person. Most of my meals consist of snacks rather than actual meals. Permission to speak, ma'am? Granted. Oh. Rui, what did you do to your commander? Look at her eyes now. And you're not even there in person because you're on the phone. I slam my fists against the table. Are you shitting me? Are you fucking with me? I have no idea what kind of drugs you're on, but if your goal was to get me to relieve stress, the first thing you should have done was anything but this. Listen to me, ma'am. Listen to my voice for a second. Do I sound stressed? You do, operative. But the reason you're here is to get rid of that stress. And do you think locking me in a room might have contributed to that? Potentially. Ma'am, When the chairman finds out about this, when he finds out, whose idea do you think this was? It was the chairman's idea? Okay, I'm shocked by that. I mean, like, I feel like, you know, it's very believable, but I thought this was all Emmy, but it was a chairman? My goodness. Well, that settles it. I'm officially surrounded by degenerates. Look, operative. I get it. You don't want to be here. I hate to break it to you, but that's the point. Working full-time for the SSD means being adaptable and learning how to put up with uncomfortable situations without losing focus. Consider this part of your training, and if not, consider it an opportunity to enjoy some quality time with your main squeeze. But if you don't want to do the expected with him, check the shelf above you. I stand up and feel my way through the compartments of the dark cabinet above. My fingers land on a cardboard box, holding a heavy sounding plastic polyhedron next to are those DVD cases? There, you're welcome, gift operative. An original Game Station 180 with the Fabio Kart collection pre-installed. I forgot the exact game you were looking for, so I just got you all of them. In addition to Fabio Kart, there's a copy of the Hyper Fabio World, Retroid Other N, Ex Machina, Cryoshock, Nimbus War Enhanced, Gyro the Dragon, Water Emblem, Serpent's Gear, Liquid, Ultra Smackdown Brothers, Arena, and Cavecraft, in case you feel like procedurally generating something. That is clever names there. There's also a tiny TV in there, so you can actually see the game. And don't worry about our friends in District 5 spying on you either. Operative, I went ballistic bashing the shit out of this gear. I assume you brought those snacks in with you? Oh, good. Okay, good. Thing I was concerned about has been solved. I feel much better now that I have all of the snacks. Affirmative, ma'am. I hope that isn't a problem. It's the farthest thing from one, operative. If you had left them outside, this whole experience would have been a lot more awkward. See, I like her thing better. She basically was like, okay, I know you may not want to go do the thing that you're supposed to, but you can game all night and enjoy the snacks. I like that. Go, Emmy. You're telling me this could have been more awkward? Of course, it could have been, operative. You could have been naked. She's not wrong. No, I'll write you in. How long are we going to be locked in here for? 7 hours and 58 minutes, operative. Nothing you can't handle. That's just with the door locked, though. Ishimoto's not an operative yet, so I'm going to need you to share your quarters with him for a while. Wait, you're planning on making him sleep on the couch? I'd say that's a decision left up to you. However, if I were you, I'd be moister than an oyster right now. Oh dear. So please take that into consideration moving forward. Too much information, ma'am. Sorry, operative. That was a bit too technical of a word choice, even for me. I wasn't aware that the phrase moister than an oyster was considered technical language. Neither was I, operative. Anyway, I'm going to let you go now. Don't worry though, in about 8 hours, everything around here is going to be back to normal. All I need you to do is have some fun with your new roommate and try not to blow anything up. That's it. That's it, operative. Lucid went out. And just like that, their transmission cuts out. I scoffed to myself as I picked the commander's gift up off the shelf. At the very least, she didn't go back on her word before she trapped me in here. As I returned to the main room, Yama looks up at me with a smirk on his face. Can't wait to explain this one to him. Let me guess. She locked us in here, hoping something interesting would happen. Pretty much. Yama's lips curled into an odd-looking smile. Something pained and weary, if not completely forced. At the very least, he's trying to look happy. Never seen that one before. A chuckle escapes me in response to his sarcasm, and I can't help but respond with a similar quip of my own. Well, at least this place is nicer than the panda enclosure at the Shanghai Zoo, provided you haven't acquired a taste for bamboo and surprise artillery bombardment. Surprise what now? Artillery bombardment. I watched Yama's eyes widen in bewilderment. Maybe it has something to do with how genuinely I referenced recent history, but it's more likely that it's because I laughed while I did so. I know it's socially unacceptable to start chuckling about a war that's caused unimaginable hardship and the deaths of millions, but it's impossible not to when I think of how absolutely overpowered some of the ISM's new weapons are. When you can scram the energy equivalent of 40,000 tons of TNT into 9 or 10 20 centimeter plasma shells and detonate those shells without making an entire city radioactive, not using them isn't even a choice. Well, we'll see how this date surprise party video game cram session goes in the next episode.